Hello everyone, it's maintenance day and there's quite a bit to go through. Let's talk about one thing at a time, okay? So two new heroes. This guy is more or less useless, but Bakuzan, we'll talk about him later. Hero backup. Stuff you can claim. Okay, so what I'm going to go through now is that I'm going to run through the hero backup. So if you are unclear about what this is and what to do with it, this is where you can get your information. I will try to be as detailed as possible. So if you are familiar with battle passes or season passes in other games, this is the One Punch Man equivalent. Basically, you have a version that's open to F2P players, the normal one, and every time you clear the quests listed on the panel here for the dailies and the weeklies, it will progress, and as you level up you get rewards. You can also pay money, about 14 SGD. I don't know what is it in your respective currency, but 14 SGD will unlock the base version of the Shining. Okay, and about twice of that, somewhere around 25 I believe, you unlock the more it's just a sped up version which you start at level 24. Okay, so first things first, do you buy the level 1 variant or the level 20 variant? If you are kind of inactive but you still play the game a lot, you like it, I guess getting the 20 level advantage will mean that you have a higher chance of reaching the end of this chain. There are a lot of items here that are only relevant to spenders, kind of. But more importantly, as you proceed all the way to level 200, this is the hardest reward to get. You get a permanent costume for Saitama, which you can use to walk around with. So if you are F2P and you don't pay money, you can only get the items on the top row, and all you have to do is to clear quests every day and weekly and proceed. But whether or not the Shining is worth it, personally I feel like if you have the money, go for it, but you don't need to buy the level 20 variant, because the level 1 variant you can slowly earn the points, and if you haven't hit the target for something you want to get later, like for example the permanent costume, there's always the option of going here to purchase the upgraded to purchase levels directly. So right now I'm going to go through the quest system, because actually it's quite confusing, and surprisingly the quest system is not very intuitive either. Basically, the daily page you can actually do in finite times, meaning to say that if you clear extreme training 3 out of 3, it will just go back to 0 out of 3 and you earn the points here, and you can actually keep redoing and redoing non-stop. It never ends. So that's the mistake I made just now when I actually went to clear Conqueror's Challenge, but it turns out that it just resets, right? There's a weekly limit of 20,000, but from what I understand, if you are a full daily clearer, meaning you clear every single day, you get about 11,000 every 4 days. 11,000 every 4 days puts you at close to about 17 to 18,000 weekly, and if you do a few more refreshers, maybe you can actually get to the 20,000. Now the dailies are very straightforward. There's not much to say. You don't really need to refresh anything. You just do it as per normal. But note, and you can do the math yourself for how many points you will be getting and how many points you need to reach the levels that you are targeting. Every level you need 1,000 of the points, and if you reach weekly limit of 20,000, you can count yourself. Today is 27th, and it actually stops on, I don't even know what 11/10 is. I think 11/10 is the 11th of October. Yeah, so that's about 8 weeks more or less, I would say. Am I wrong? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 weeks, right? So you can get a grand total of maybe up to 400 level 140 from dailies. Okay, now let's look at the weeklies. So you get quite a bit of points from weeklies, but there's a trap here that I made a mistake on. So it turns out that they have different levels. You can see that I have a purple variant here and it's 1.8k. Blue variant. You can only clear a weeklies once. Once you are done with it, you cannot get new ones. You have to wait until the next week to reset. And that's a problem because, as you can see here, once you clear the green ones, you don't get enough points. Now the problem is, in order to cycle away the green ones or any of the ones you don't want, you actually need to use gems to refresh. This, I would say, is definitely not worth it for free-to-play players to refresh. You can just ignore this step. Go, if you are trying to aim for very high rewards, like say the level 200 portrait, then maybe this will become very relevant to you because you want to try and get as many points as you can throughout the week. You will want to refresh all greens for those of you who picked up greens along the way, and hopefully that's enough to get you the points. And it's much cheaper than purchasing it using funds, I feel. So that's up to you. 10 funds is actually 100 gems equivalent, meaning that if you count the quest refresh, spending 25 gems to upgrade it from 600 to 1200 is 0.6 of a level. So 0.6 of a level times say 4 to match the 10 funds over there. It's around, it's a good difference, I would say. I think it's better to refresh these quests to get them upgraded from green to either blue or purple. Now, what about the exchange? So the coins here, they actually stay in your inventory because this event is a repeating event in some months. It goes away and comes back once in a while. So every time it comes back, there's a different SR core or SR hero that you can use. Bakuzan is currently the one we have, which I'll talk about later. What should you spend on here? I have no idea. Frankly speaking, you don't have to choose to spend the coins at all. You just wait till near the end. If there's something you really need, then I guess you could go for it. But I don't know what to spend on here. I don't know how many of these coins you can possibly get. So you can see that it's quite limited as well. You have to choose wisely. So wait until more information is available before you commit to exchanging anything in the exchange screen. But for quests and for rewards, it should be quite clear after my explanation on what you have to do. Now, is it worth refreshing to clear more dailies? I don't know. If you do the math for weeklies, let's say you get 1200 and there are 7 quests, right? At a minimum, you are getting 8,400 gem points. 8,400 points per week is 8 levels. On top of the 20 levels from weekly, let's say you clear about the 17 levels, so you have 25 levels per week. As I said just now, there are about 6 to 7 weeks on the event, meaning to say that you can get a grand total of about 25 levels times 6. So that's at level 150s. If you are hardcore and you clear the weeklies to 20,000 every week somehow, then you will have 20,000 times 6 to 7 as per mentioned. And again, your weeklies you might get purples as well. So 8.5 levels per week is maybe higher. And assuming you refresh all greens, of course. 8.5 levels plus 20 levels per week would mean 28 levels or so. 28 levels times 6 weeks would bring you to about... Can't really do math right now. About 17? About level 170. So again, if you're aiming for the permanent costume, doing it normally without buying it gets you pretty close. You can decide at the end whether you want to do the final caching. You may have other bonuses that you don't know of. You may get more purples here. At the end of the day, I don't think it's a big concern. You just buy the smaller one or the bigger one based on your choice and you work from there. Now, I'm going to talk about the other release things now. So let's scroll to where Bakuzan is, the main thing for this event. So you can see here, there's Bakuzan. I can't click him to show you the details here, so let me go into the album instead. And hopefully he's here somewhere. Considering he's in a game, he should show up. And if he shows up, it means that I have to tag him as a favorited character. Anything I don't have, I follow. That's how this game works for me. Can I just drag this? I cannot. So, Sourface is useless. I don't think it matters that much. But let's talk about Bakuzan. It's a core unit, so it's quite relevant. So what does Bakuzan do? Basically, Bakuzan is the first martial artist in the game other than Sourface. He's a grappler unit. And his skills are quite straightforward. He has a normal attack that sucks, it's just 100% damage. He has an ult that uses 200% damage and the first instance of internal injury. So what internal injury does is that it leaves a debuff on the enemy. When you attack that unit, you actually deal Bakuzan's damage, 140% of it to the target. So let's say I have Bakuzan, I ult, the guy has internal injury, my golden ball outs and hits the internal injury guy. That will cause 140% of Bakuzan's attack to be dealt as extra damage. So the beauty of this is that it deals a lot of damage. 200 plus 140 is 340%. But it only lasts for one time. It's not like injury where you can keep triggering it over and over again. Bakuzan is not here for his skills. They are single target, they are not that great. They are okay. You get 340% damage single target on an SR. But what he's actually good for is his other two skills. So let's look. Not his other two skills, his cores, but let me talk about his passive first. So if there's an enemy with internal injury, he enters Berserk, which is quite strong. Okay, not bad. But his core, we need to talk about his core. Okay. On turn 1, he grants 3 energy at the start of the battle. Okay. And that means that you effectively start all fights with 6 energy. This is a direct counter to the energy seal strategy that's being used with DSK Core 4, as well as King Speed Rush. And because he's a martial artist, he's actually used in the hero tournament side for the tournaments. Meaning to say that he's a direct counter to faster kings in the game. You have a chance to cast your own king, for example, or you have a chance to at least cast 2 outs. So 3 energy on top of the 3 base energy you start with, that's 6 energy. But every round thereafter you only get 1 energy, which is okay. His advanced effect is pretty good. If you have the full squad, so his normal one is Duelist, Grappler, High Tech, but the full squad will have an Esper. You actually have all your characters be Berserk for plus 20% damage for the first round. This is basically to support his idea that he's a burst comp. You want your heroes to cast spells on the first turn and try to kill off the enemy, and this is in support of that. So again, Berserk is a very powerful stat because it stacks with a lot of things. Most people will be comparing Bakuzan to CE. And the problem with CE right now is that because there's so many energy seal characters in the game, there's Geryu, there's DSK4, which is arguably the most powerful core right now, and there's also King. Chao Emperor has a very hard time getting off his skills to get the energy, even though he's the highest energy for PvP. Now that means that if you were to choose between CE and Bakuzan, you may want to run Bakuzan if you're running, for example, a Corrode lineup like me. Because Corrode, even though it's strong, if you don't get your ultimate off in turn 1, you're basically not doing anything, especially for combo users. For me, my server has whales with DSK4, and I can tell you that DSK4, which it refers to his core, it actually seals 2 energy at the start of the battle with no prerequisite conditions. So that means that as long as he has DSK active as the core, I lose 2 energy off the bat at the start of the game. So that's very significant, and I don't think it's something that you can ignore once you enter maybe 2 months from now. Even F2P players will start picking up DSK's core number 4, and you'll start having trouble. So now with that being said, there are a lot of problems with trying to build Bakuzan. First of all, he is a grappler. I already have enough trouble leveling grapplers as is. I can't really fit another one. But the main reason why you want to draw him or to get him from the event is because Live Clash is out. It's coming out on 1st September, which is in about 4 days. And I will do a separate video on how to prepare for Live Clash, maybe tomorrow or the day after. And Live Clash is interesting because all your heroes are actually resetted to their base stats. You can actually see the base stats in the album, and there's a separate set of equipment used in Live Clash. So I'll write a kind of a guide. I don't want to give away everything because after all, you guys will be fighting me. But yeah, more or less in Live Clash, the meta is very established. We got it earlier than Taiwan and CN, but it's very clear which will be the strong units and strong characters. So assuming you are very competitive, you are into PvP, and you want to win in Live Clash, you may actually want Bakuzan. You may actually need to use him even if he's not leveled in your main lineup. So that's a main reason why you want to draw him. Again, Live Clash uses base stats, meaning that all your levels, your colors, your stars here don't really matter. Okay, it does matter because 5-star effects on passive and 3-star effects on keepsake are adopted, but that's a story for another day. I'll talk about it in future. Yep, so hopefully the guide on the backup stick was helpful, as well as the mini guide on Bakuzan. I might do a separate video on his usage and things like that. Overall, it should be quite clear what you need to be doing in order to get the most out of your backup stick, be it F2P or non-F2P. Before I go, there's one last thing I want to talk about, which is Go. Okay, so I've actually changed the way I buy stuff in the game. I used to always buy the notes, but after finding out that actually notes will not be a problem in future. You will run out of gold before you run out of notes. Now my priority is to get as much gold as I can, which is why I have 5.4 million gold because I bought all the packs. Now, I need to emphasize that you need to manage your investments. You cannot just like, okay, I see that I have gold, and then you proceed to go and upgrade all the skills in the skill screen, because this doesn't really do much, right? You've probably noticed that skills don't really do much. Instead, what I do is that I try to have about 1 million gold in my inventory, and whenever I have too much, I will go and start spending them on my figurines. So figurines are the best source of stats that are cheap. You can just go here, you see which group has the option for 2 stars up at the same time. Let's say Moment right now, I'll just up him. So this places your group at okay, let's do it now. Okay, so 27 out of 28, right? And I have 2 options. I can do Lightning Max, or I can do Moment. So what I want to do is that I just want to go here. I'm just going to upgrade. And you can see this actually costs quite a bit of gold. 50k plus 12k times 5. That's 100k gold. Now if you were to do this in a single session, I can guarantee you that you'll be spending like a few million at a time. And that's why you need to be getting as much gold as you can early on, because there's a lot of things that are gated by gold that you may not even know you are being gated by. Right? So where's that group? I think we got a reward. So good. We got a reward. It's a bit of a useless base though. It's always worth it to upgrade the higher groups first because their rewards are better. Let me show you. But I like Moment, so you can see here, when you reach certain stars, they will effectively get unlocked. So the new 2 figurines are over here. But yeah, it's quite clear what you need to be doing. I hope no one is confused by my explanation. Just going to quickly clear these. Alright, so if anyone has any questions, leave it in the comments. I'm making this video longer than it needs to be because I feel like I forgot that I need to talk about something. I don't remember. What was I talking about? Well, people have been asking me whether like to level Goribas or combo, but why? If you're F2P, obviously you can't afford Goribas, so there's no question. You just do combo. I hope you all didn't miss the event if you're doing that. And then people are like, how do you clear Institute so high? Oh, you need a Corrode Scrat. All my videos, the same team. You Corrode Scrat everywhere, non-stop. And Boros, I guess. But if you don't have Boros, you can still build around, like, say, Beast King. So it's not that bad. You just need to be able to... You just need to be able to run the lineup that suits you the most. You don't go for things you cannot afford. Like if you clearly cannot afford Goribas, then so be it. Save up the money for black tickets, because black tickets make a huge difference. Whereas Goribas, technically speaking, Goribas might even be weaker than combo in certain situations, right? This event I exchanged, but oh no, I don't need that. I exchanged, but actually you don't need to. I did all the CG related stuff. Don't do cores, don't do too many of the rest. They are kind of unnecessary. You can save up these. Everything from these events usually can be saved up, except the summer events. Okay, I think that's it for today. I don't remember anything else I need to cover. So thanks for watching and have a nice day.